Welcome back to Digi Bros.
What's up?
Victor's gonna solve this riddle here.
Don't I go that way and then go up to kill the dragons?
No.
Oh. Okay.
You definitely
What's
don't
the point
do
of
that.
that way then?
Just
to
you
fight
got
that fat guy?
items, and that fat guy was
Okay.
there. Now the funny thing is that what you just did now is obviously the right way to do this, and I had no idea.
Really?
What I've done every single time is just run through the fire.
Fucking idiot.
Every
How did
time.
you even survive though? It's insane.
I had a huge health bar.
Oh yeah.
So there's because what happens is
Because there's no way you can survive that without a giant fucking health bar.
I just didn't know what else to do, so I just thought that's what
you really
had
didn't
to
see
do.
the path to the side, the obvious path.
I mean, I've been down here and everything. I just never
Uh-huh.
thought about it.
Wow.
Like, because running across the bridge, the dragon will breathe fire, and then the whole thing stays on fire.
Yeah.
But it takes just long enough for them to breathe fire again that if you keep rolling, and getting hurt, and then rolling and getting hurt, you can make it into the door before you die.
That's pretty amazing.
And so that's the only way I had ever thought of to do this. Because basically what happens here is, once Victor, well, I don't know where he's going now.
I'm gonna go fight this dude.
Oh, shit. I didn't even remember this.
Yeah, dude, there's a fucking Artorias guy down here.
I don't know if I ever fought this guy.
He's
I
a
don't
spooky
remember
guy,
this at
man.
all.
Look how spooky he is.
But anyways, like, once you pass through this door that Victor's getting to, the dragons just automatically die. Which is why it's fucking hilarious that...
Well, the way you're supposed to kill him is that you go behind the one's foot, and then you smack the cyst on its foot, and then you kill him.
Yeah, I mean, you fight those cysts anyway, but as soon as you pass through that door, the dragons are dead.
Yeah.
Like, if you reload, if you pass
That's like the most weird, boring way to do it, though.
If you pass through the door, the dragons automatically just, like, when you respawn, they're just automatically dead. And then you can fight the weird cysts that are on them because, like, the implications they've been taken over by those things, and they just die right before your eyes. But as long as you make it past the dragons, they die automatically. So I thought that you just had to roll through the fire and then make it through that door, and you were done with the dragons. You know? But this is obviously the right way to do it. Is to drop off that bridge.
I see. Did you just not drop off the bridge? Or?
No, I didn't. I ran across the bridge through the fire and just went up through the door, and they were dead. And I just thought it was like a weird set piece thing. Like, I did not realize at all there was like a tactic to do this.
The clever game design did not rub off on you.
No, see, look, you go through that, you just run through here and go through that door. As soon as you pass through this door, the dragons die. I just ran across the bridge and ran through. Yeah.
But this is where you have to go back to kill his foot.
Yeah, but if you were to die right now and respawn, they'll both be dead.
Huh. That's weird.
They just die automatically once you pass through that door on your next respawn.
Okay.
So, but then you still have to fight the cysts that are on them, like, they're dead. And then once you kill those cysts, the dragons will disappear. Like,
so their bodies are still there.
Yeah, you're about to see it because you just died. So once you get up there, they're just gonna be laying there dead.
That's weird.
Yeah, and then you can kill the things on them, and then the bodies will disappear. But they're just like. It's just like the eldritch shit living inside of them now.
This is where the game gets tough, and then it's even harder to talk and play over this game because all the fucking enemies are tough.
But
they all hurt you.
Oh, what? What?
Look, what? See, what are you fucking talking about?
It happened for me.
That's weird.
What the fuck? Have I? Okay.
You broke the game somehow. I don't know.
Did me running through the fire change the nature of things somehow?
I don't know, dude. You're insane.
Maybe it's if you make it to where you see the thing burst out of it, and then they'll be dead.
That's probably it.
Maybe you just have to see it burst out. Because I definitely at one point, like... No, I just remember it being that I ran through the door, and then I died, and then they were just dead. You know? That's how I remember it. Maybe it's something to do with the way I passed through or something. I really don't know. But see, look, now everything catches on fire, and I would just roll through the fire, getting and then eventually make it. There's a ladder to your right you can find. Just get right up. Right there.
Ooh, pretty.
So maybe I climbed this ladder and I saw the cyst explode on the dragon and I died or something.
Yeah, get the fuck out of my way, dude. Fucking douchebag. Fucking douchebag. Hua! Ah, fuck your
See,
fucking
I've never had
cyst.
it. I've never had to hit it for that to happen. Every time I've come up here, they've just been already out.
I don't know what the fuck you did, dude.
I don't know either. Somehow I fucking like it makes more sense if I think that it's like maybe it was a glitch that now has been patched out because it didn't make any sense.
Whoa, there's so many dudes! Let me not just climb the ladder.
It definitely never made sense that they were just dead, but that's
Yeah.
what my experience was with it. Oh god,
This
what
place
the
is
fuck
spooky, man.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Were we just talking about the game up until this point? I think we were in this episode.
What?
I think in this episode we've only been talking
Wow.
about the game, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm trying to think if we had a topic yet, and I don't think.
Anyway, so I've been up to shit. Now I can talk about what I've actually done in the
See, look,
last
now they're
couple
both
weeks.
dead. So as soon as you had the cyst,
Oh,
they're both
huh.
dead.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been doing a lot of job hunting, trying to get a job. My
Yeah.
first lead was there was this job at PETA to be a field producer for PETA, and like no one thought that seemed cool but me. And,
Because PETA are fucking crazy.
Yes, they're fucking crazy, but I was like, yeah, it'll be fun. But then I couldn't bring myself to lie and say that I was a vegetarian because I just like I can't lie.
Right.
And so like they'd done a follow-up to my application and like asked a bunch of questions, and one of them was, are you a vegetarian? And I just was like, I'm not a vegetarian, but you know, I'm interested in the lifestyle, and I think it'd be cool to be like surrounded by people who are into that, and then it would help me change and be able to do that. And they've just never replied to me, so I assumed that they just rejected me because I'm not a vegetarian. And I'm like, whatever. At least I tried, you know. I didn't want to lie, but I didn't want to not
like,
even bother.
Fascinating in a way, in that they are like, yeah, they hire based on ideology.
Yeah,
it's
fucked.
But
But
the fucking
doesn't even
craziest
seem like it's
company in the
legal.
world.
but yeah, but the position was it would be a field producer with their like animal rescue squad. So I'd just be like following them, kind of documenting the animal rescue squad, and that sounded really cool. We'd just be rescuing dogs, and I'd be filming it like documentary style, and I'm like, that's pretty cool, you know. But oh well, not getting that. Applied for another job, didn't hear back from that. But then what's cool now, which I'm hoping goes somewhere. I haven't heard anything in a few days, but Dad knew a guy who's like I guess like sort of advertising producer for Checkered Flag, where he's like an advertising dude who kind of he knows all the studios, and he basically arranges things to do all the commercials for like the local businesses. And so I went and met with this guy, and he's kind of like he's basically gonna be acting like my agent, and like we're gonna sit down with local groups and see like if anyone needs me, and like we're gonna sell me to them. So that's a great foot in the door with these places that otherwise I'd never be able to fucking be in contact with, and they would never just be like hiring someone.
Right.
But I might get to meet these people and like get my name out there and actually get a job somewhere. So that'll be pretty cool.
It sounds like a good way to
And
go
that
about
hopefully
things.
starts happening. But I'm like, yeah, that actually sounds like the perfect way for me to get a legitimate job around here.
Yeah.
And then there's a feature film being shot here next. It's gonna be throughout June and July. This is a like suspense movie starring the main dude from Entourage, and it's gonna be filming
Really?
in Norfolk. Yeah, and so like
That guy is actually getting work.
yeah.
I've never seen him in anything other than
Well, I
Entourage.
mean, now Entourage is totally done. So fucking hell!
I
really
consider
got
this,
cursed.
by the way, I consider this the hardest enemy in the game.
Oh
Harder
my
than
God.
any boss.
I wasted it the first time.
The hardest enemy in the game.
Fucking cursed me. Anyways, but they contacted Professor Snape looking for interns for this film, and then he sent them saying like, oh, well, I have this recent graduate who wants to do like first AC shit, and so like that the guy who's the hiring director for that immediately calls me. Totally threw me off to ask what my experience was, and I was like totally nervous, like totally fucked it up. But he said they'd be in contact within the next 2 weeks or so, and they're gonna ask like their camera crew if they could use like a camera PA. So it'd probably be like an unpaid production assistant thing, but I'd be working on a fucking film. Like, that would be amazing. And it would be with people who are local shooting this stuff, so I'd get to meet like the local people who could be in the feature film things.
Great.
So hopefully I get a job on that. That would be awesome. And I get to meet the dude from Entourage. At least be in proximity to him.
You'd be like, oh my god, I grew up watching Entourage. Do you feel old? Hearing that? Because I was like 13 when I watched it.
True.
If that.
Yeah. So 2 potential exciting leads. Haven't heard from them in a few days. Ripping my balls sucking up into my stomach, hoping that I'm not disappointed.
So, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's what I've actually been up to. Lots of job hunting.
I might have to see a doctor about my wrist.
Okay.
I might have some kind of like carpal tunnel or tendonitis or something.
From jacking it too much?
You were the first. You won't be the last. I was waiting.
Yep.
I was like, who is going to be the first person
to break the...
that I make a wrist joke and they say from jacking off too much?
Yeah, dude.
No. I had mentioned to you before that like if I pushed on my wrist in either direction, then it would hurt. But it was like if I like really pushed on it. And this one time I like, and it's been like this for like over a month. And there was one time I tried to do push-ups and it just like, it was in searing pain, right?
Mm.
And then just today, I woke up and it was like, it's past the point of no return now. Like, now it just hurts.
Wow.
Like moving it at all hurts. I have to keep it perfectly straight. Mom gave me this like wristband she had from when her arm was broken. And I think the worst part is that I think my right wrist is possibly coming down with the same thing.
Uh-huh.
What are you laughing about?
Because I'm thinking about how this is a very Curb Your Enthusiasm moment, where like I just went on this whole tangent about like really important stuff for my future.
My
in my
fucking
life,
wrist might not work anymore. That's incredibly important.
And then you're like, I think, you know, my wrist hurts. Just imagine Larry David saying, like if he weren't paying attention to the conversation that he chimes, it's just like, you know, I think there's a problem with my wrist. I really think I should see a doctor. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about,
The thing is, Victor, in Curb Your Enthusiasm, no one would take him seriously and they'd all be mad at him for the fact that he interrupted. But then it would turn out he had a serious, like, cancer in his wrist.
If it were Curb Your Enthusiasm, the doctor would just be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then it would turn out it was just nothing.
No, because the joke would be that everyone made fun of him for bringing up something so stupid and shitty, but then it would turn out to actually be a big deal. Like, or vice versa. Well, in this case, I legitimately think I have a fucking disease, not a disease, but like an injury in my wrist that is severe and could impact my livelihood. It's as important as it gets, you know? You've got 2 potential leads on maybe things that might turn out to be something. I've got definite, very real...
one potential lead on something that maybe might turn out to be something.
What are you
Go to
talking
the fucking
about?
doctor and they'll just be like,
No, it's like, it's serious. It's been this way for over a month. I can't move it without being in incredible pain.
Go to the doctor.
It's fucking broken in some way.
Go to
and
the
it's
doctor.
not a bone injury. And guess what? You know what they do if you have carpal tunnel? Surgery, Victor.
Yeah.
It's a serious fucking thing. I might have damaged my wrist in possibly a permanent fashion. I had to wear an arm brace all day. I took it off to go to sleep, and I haven't put it back on yet.
Oh yeah, you were wearing that.
Yeah. Yeah,
why the fuck haven't you been to the doctor yet?
Because it just got bad today, and I thought maybe maybe it's just I slept on it really badly last night, you know? Because there's a lot of days in my life where something hurts randomly, and then it doesn't hurt anymore when I wake up. But this thing has hurt all month. It just has only hurt when I put pressure on it. But this time I woke up, and it just fucking really hurt. So I don't know if it just hurts more because of that, or if like I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be even worse, and it's gonna be swollen and blue, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm dying, you know. Jesus Christ. Laughing at my pain.
I mean, it's kind of funny.
Why did you reverse?
I thought that would get rid of my curse meter.
No.
Hopefully, no.
It looks like it made it a lot longer. Maybe being hollowed is curse.
Just kind of waiting for the curse to go away so I can go fight this thing again.
Yeah. You know you don't have to kill this thing.
But I want to.
It's a pain in the ass.
But I want to.
Pain in the ass. So.
This will cure my ailments. That didn't work. I made it go down faster.
Divine Blessing would get rid of it.
I just used a Divine Blessing.
Oh, never mind.
Cool.
So in regards to my, I guess, future plans.
Yeah.
You know, I've been looking into moving the Davoo up here.
Yeah.
Because ever since Hope got a house, I've been like, oh man, everything feels in reach now. You know, because like, I'm making pretty good money now. And like, I'm making an amount of money where looking at getting actual real things is like a possibility. You know, things like car and house. You know, like I didn't have enough money that I was even thinking about those things before. But now I'm like, man, I could.
You definitely have enough money for those things, though.
Well, I have enough money that I could, you know, I could start paying for one of those things.
Yes.
Not just that I could just afford it, you know. But I want to be able to just afford it. I want to be able to just buy a car. You know what I mean? Like Mike tried to do, but he went for a much more expensive car.
You can't really just do that regardless.
You can.
Well, you kind of got to put the money away and then pay it off anyways. Like, you can't just buy a car all at once.
Yeah, you can. You can do that.
All right.
Mike put $15,000 onto his car.
Yeah.
When he first got it, he got a like $32,000 car, and he just put down 15 grand, and now he's paying the rest month by month. But you can do that. You can absolutely walk into a dealership and just say, "Here's the money for the car. I now own the car." You know? Which is what I'd like to do, because I don't need an expensive car. Like, you know, I could deal with pretty minimal shit, because I don't really drive that much anyways. I just wanted to have like an aux cord jack, and I'm set.
Just go buy like $1,000 car, dude.
Well, here's the other. Like, I have like 3 requirements of this car.
Yeah.
It has to have an aux cord jack, automatic windows, and air conditioning, and it can't break in the first year.
Yeah.
I don't want to be repairing this thing immediately after buying it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only reason I'm not going to buy a fucking cheap car, like a cheap used car, because, you know, people buy them because they're cheap, but then immediately your wipers malfunction. Now you got to spend like
$1,000 on your wiper.
Eventually,
you gotta spend $1,000.
I didn't even finish that word, Victor. So shut up.
It was funny that you started that word.
I immediately realized that I was using a way too big of word.
Yes, way too big of word indeed.
So, this Dick Mastersonism. Yeah, but eventually, your repair costs end up equaling the cost of if you had just bought a better car.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're stuck with, like, you've fully repaired what is a worse car than what you would have gotten for the same amount of money.
Yes.
You know? So I want it to be a decent car, you know, but I would like to just buy a car outright. Especially because it'll be a beautiful tax write-off if I could just buy, like, a $12,000 car and then just write that off on my taxes and, you know, and then, like, incredibly reduce the amount of taxes I have to pay, because my taxes are going to be fucking crazy. Unless I spend all my money on stuff related to my job.
It's half in the bag time, dude.
Blow
it all in half of the bag.
Well, I thought about that, because like my choices were either I'm gonna buy nothing but equipment all year and like go crazy with the equipment, or get a car. Because, you know, me and my friends have been talking for like a while now about the possibilities of us all moving in together, moving somewhere, you know, like maybe moving to Ohio or something where Nate is.
Ohio?
You know, or just generally being able to travel everywhere. And it's like, I drive the family car, you know,
Yes.
and we've been talking about we're already planning to like replace it. We've been saying for a while that like me and Mom should get our own cars that are cheaper, and Dad wants me to put a car in my name too.
Yeah.
But dude, it was fucking funny because we were talking, like I told Mom like, hey, how much do you think it'll cost me to buy a car? And she's all like, oh, you know, Dad's been talking about you know, doing that, like getting you a car and then you putting in your you know, having you make the monthly payments and stuff. And then she was talking about, like, there's this new electric car they have at BMW, and, like, they've been talking about, you know, doing that, and, like, Dad can get us a great deal on it, and you'll pay, like, $210 a month. And I just kept saying, like, well, how much does the car cost? You know, she was like, well, it's like $200 a month, you know? I'm like, no. How much does the car cost? You know, and she's like, well, it's like a $50,000 car. And I'm like, no, I don't want that car. You know, like, I don't care how low the monthly payments are. I want to eventually own the car.
Yeah.
And not to be paying for it forever, you know? Because, like, 200, that's 1,000 every 5 months.
It's funny that our family does not think of cars as a permanent thing at all. And I realize that that's another weird thing. Because ideally you buy a car and that's your car for the rest of your life. Like you shouldn't ever need another car, you know?
Right.
Like you should just be able to buy your car and that's your car. And we've never had a consistent car.
Victor, at 2,000...
But then that's also what a house should be like. You should buy a house and never move.
Victor, at $200 a month, it would take, if I'm doing my math right, at $200 a month. That's what I said, right? $200 a month. It would take, I believe. Hold on, let me redo the math real quick. 5 times. I want to say 250 months. That's what? How many years is that? Like, how many years are in 250 months?
Dude, I don't fucking know. I'm not a math magician.
20, I want to say like 30 years. I want to say it would take 30 years for me to own that car.
That's because from the perspective of Mom and Dad, you only end up with the car for 5 years and then you fucking trade your value on that car to a different car.
Exactly.
And you never pay off your car.
They were talking about like it would be leased and stuff.
They've never owned a car. They've never paid off a car, you know?
No. Well, they're talking about leasing it. I'm like, I don't want to lease the car because the thing is like,
then it's not your car.
Right. Well, with the Santa Fe, it's like, you know, you're constant like, you can't run up a certain amount of mileage on it, you know, like you said, they're thinking like, well, you run up this amount of mileage and you trade it in for another. I'm like, I just want to fucking buy a car.
Yeah.
I just want to buy a car and it's mine and I can do whatever the fuck I want to it, you know? I want to be able to paint dicks on my car if I want to, you know? Like, I'm big into like that kind of ownership of like, I feel like I can do whatever I want to it, you know?
Yeah.
Because like all the cars we end up driving, our parents always like, oh, well, you can't do like make sure you don't like, oh, you're not taking good care of it, it's leased. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to have a lease. I want to just be able to fuck up my car, you know?
Oh, you can get a dent in the bumper and it's like, oh, who fucking cares?
Right. I want to be able to.
It's a piece of shit.
I want to be able to fuck this car, you know. I don't care about the resale value of my car.
Yes.
I want to buy a car and it to be mine, and then when I'm done with it, it goes in the dump and it gets thrown away, or I sell it for $20 to a fucking used car salesman in 10 years. You know, like I don't care.
Oh my God.
I want the car to have a car, not to, you know, to have an investment that I can return on later. I don't care. I just want to own a car, you know.
Motherfucker wants a car, dog.
And then like with the house thing, like, you know, Hope got a house, and I'm like, okay. And now with a house, I understand, you know, making payments on it and maybe not ever truly owning it, because I'm not gonna buy a tiny house. Yeah. You know, if
she's just renting the house.
Right. If I move into like a small house, it's because it's temporary. Eventually, I would like to, you know, if I was gonna buy a house, eventually I'd want it to be a nice house. You know, like once I've made it, quote unquote. And I'd like to have a studio space. You know, but like, until that point, I don't, you know, it would just be like rentals or whatever. But like, you know, I've set it as a Patreon goal that if I reach $1,100 a video, then I'm gonna move Davoo up here. And like, but what I'm thinking about is, because like, I don't necessarily want to just like move out of here and move in with Devu and
Yeah.
live in a house together, you know, like some small house.
And be super gay.
Right. I don't necessarily, like, want that, but I could just, like, have me and Devu go in, because it's, his money is my money, you know,
Yeah.
I pay him. And he's openly said, like, if you moved me up, I don't even really need, like, any money.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about having money. He cares about having a place with good internet and like and not being at home with his parents. You know, he's always saying like, I'll live in a closet. I don't need anything. I don't want anything, you know. Now I'm going to pay him anyways, you know. I'm going to give him some money to fucking live. He's got to be able to fucking buy food at least, you know, and bus fare if he wants to go somewhere.
Are you going to make him like yeah, I mean, you're paying him, so it doesn't make sense to make him pay rent.
Right, exactly. So
that's you're already paying him.
So what I'm thinking is like, you know, I could just move him up here and us have a studio / his house.
Yeah.
You know, because like it would be easy enough for me to just move my work shit over there.
Right.
You know, or like buy a second computer and have a computer in his house that we use for editing, and then. You know, I can just drive back and forth. So just so that I don't necessarily want to just live in this house. You know, like now if it ends up being that we're there all the time anyways working and I'm never at home, then you know it doesn't matter. But like I don't want to have to move my entire room, just for like a.
So you're saying you
house.
want to have another house that's the Devu's house?
Yes.
And you live here?
Yes.
What? Why wouldn't you just want to live there?
Because I don't want to necessarily just live with the Devu in a tiny house in Virginia.
Why not?
Because I have a great room here.
You can have a great room somewhere else.
Not if I'm not gonna buy a nice place unless I'm like making way more money. Like, my goal is...
There's options.
My goal is short-term, move Devu up here.
Yeah.
Long-term, move into my own nice place, and also Devu has his own place. You know?
So there's no point you'd want to live with the Devu.
Well, I'm not saying we won't live together at all. I'll be there all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't want it to just be like, I bought a house, I'm moving out. You know, like, I don't want it to be like, hey, I got this little place so that me and Devu can live in close proximity and work together, and I'm moving in there full stop, and I'm just going to be there, you know? Like, I want to have my room here that I can come back to if I want to, you know?
Yeah.
And the amenities and things we have here, and be able to hang out with people here if I need to, you know? Maybe I'll end up spending so much time over at Devu's place because it's basically a workstation, but like, because I've been saying for a long time that, you know, I want to move all the procrastinator people into one place, but I don't mean one place as in one house. I want us all to live in the same area.
Yes.
Because I want the Grumps thing that they have, where they have this huge studio space they all work in, and they just all live in the area, and they all come to work at the studio every day, you know, and it's a big, cool, awesome place. But like, us actually, like, imagine... Not so much the Devu, but imagine trying to, like, live with Jesse. Like, life would be insanity.
Yes.
Because Jesse's a crazy man.
Yes.
And he really needs his own space. Because he's extremely anti-authority. Like, he doesn't do anything he's told.
Yes.
So, if there was some reason that we were all beholden to something Jesse was doing... then we would be fucked, you know?
Yes.
If like, let's say we had to do, like...
dealing with chaos.
Right, like, get something done on time, and Jesse doesn't want to do that thing on time, then he's, like, he might do it because he's a reasonable guy, you know, but
you don't know.
If he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't, and there's nothing we could do to make him.
Chaotic
you know?
evil, man. Or neutral.
Chaotic neutral. Very neutral. Extremely neutral.
Yes.
Very big fan of neutrality.
Yes, I recall.
But like, you know, I would love to be in a close proximity to Jesse so we could work together. But like living with Jesse and like being dependent on each other, you know. Jesse, a man who didn't pay his taxes last year because fuck it, you know. and has referred to the bills he gets from the hospitals as gimmicks. You know, those gimmicks they send in the mail called bills, as he puts it. Like, you know,
holy shit.
And I'm not saying he's doing his life wrong. You know, I'm sure he would defend all those decisions. I'm just saying I'm not gonna put myself, like, you know, gamble my own livelihood on, you know, on his style of living. You know, I respect that he lives that way, but I don't necessarily want to, you know, move in with him like that. And I also just know his general lifestyle is like, you know, be awake when he wants to, scream at top of lung, fuck everybody else, you know?
Which is your general lifestyle. Scream at top of lung in middle of night.
Right.
Not a drunken rampage.
At least I'm usually not naked. Jesse is often naked when he does those things.
That's true. Pissing in bottles in his room or whatever.
I don't think he pisses in bottles, but... Well, never mind. He did that in a podcast.
Like, what are you fucking talking about?
But yeah, you know, I'm just saying, like, with anybody, I don't, like, the appeal of this room in this house is that I don't really feel like I live with anybody.
Yes.
I'm so far away. I'm really in my own world.
Forever alone.
It's basically my own apartment that just happens to be inside of a house. Yeah. And, like, we could accomplish that on some level with everyone moving in together, but, like, whatever this place is, it's gonna be in my name. I'm gonna be beholden to whatever everyone else is doing, you know? I'm dealing with a bunch of people who frequently, you know, we all have, like, inconsistent pay. Yeah. And, you know, Jesse's the guy who dropped $500 on comic books at random a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Ben is a guy who, you know, doesn't give a fuck about money and is completely transient, and as soon as he got bored would leave, you know? So, like, if I said, hey, I'm going to get a place that's big enough for 4 people to live there, and I'm moving in, me, Devu, Nate, and Ben. Then, like, 3 months later, Ben might go, all right, I'm sick of this, I'm out. And then we've got a place for 4 people that now only 3 people are paying for, and it costs more, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I have to be able to deal with the transience of everyone involved. And, you know, like, so to my mind, the ideal scenario is we can all afford to have our own place. Or I am making so much money that I don't care that if they pay rent on time, you know? Like, with the Devu, it doesn't really matter because he is paid by me.
Yes.
So his success is entirely dependent on my success, and there's no way...
You can't blame him if he can't
make his payment. Can't fuck up the payment because it's my fault. You know, like, if he has no reason to ever give me rent because I have his rent, and I can just keep it, you know?
You just take that out of his paycheck.
Right, exactly. Like... And Devu is okay with that.
Yes.
Like, Jesse would not be okay with that. He would not want me controlling his money and telling him when he pays the rent, you know? Devu does not care.
Well, the Devu, I mean, you literally just go, okay, you're my employee, and this is your employee living space, and your theoretical money you made is going to the rent, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't actually make this money because you need to, this is your rent money.
Right. But I think
I don't need to kill this guy. Fuck this guy.
I think that by the end of the year, I will be able to afford to just put up the Devu, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to have my own car because in the event that I did, you know, move in with him or that we moved somewhere else to be with other people.
You could have the Baku. Your life would literally be like Bakumon.
Right.
Where the Devu would live in the studio, and you just come. You're the other guy who comes in.
Did
and
Mashiro live in the studio?
He may as well have. He basically
was always
in the studio.
there. But yeah, that is. I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like I want a studio space. I don't care that like. You know, again, maybe I'll be there so often that it won't even be like I don't live there. But
you know,
like,
you could also look up. You could look up how much it would cost to own a studio space.
Right, but Devu has to live here, you know. Yeah. So it might as well.
I mean, he could live in your studio space.
Why not just get a house? Why do we need a...
I don't know. It'd be cool.
Like,
maybe they're cheap as hell. You don't know.
It could be, but like...
It could be cheaper to have a studio.
All that matters is we have a place where we can do work together, and he can also sleep there, you know, and have like basic, like a kitchen or something, you know, that he might need to make food.
You literally get a studio apartment, which is just a room with a kitchen and a toilet.
Do those exist in Virginia
Oh,
Beach?
I assure you they exist in Virginia Beach.
Well, I don't know how much they would cost. If
they're the cheapest kind of apartment.
Well, maybe we'll get a studio apartment.
They're bare bones.
That
you know?
sounds like a good. I mean,
they're usually only big enough to.
I'd
hold
rather
so
have a
much
house
shit.
than an apartment, so we can do stuff at any hour of night and shit like that.
True.
And you know, do our generally loud and
I don't know.
work.
You gotta check it out.
Yeah.
See what's around.
I haven't really looked into this stuff at all. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm just describing my plan of basically, not like I just if I phrase it like I'm gonna get a house and me and Devu are gonna move in there.
Yeah.
Like
then it's too concrete. But
right. Well, I'd rather it be I'm getting Devu a place that we will work together in, but I don't want to pack up everything in my room and just move into a place that we're probably supposed to be a temporary solution anyways. Because again, the real plan is that we make enough money that we can both have our own place. You know, because like eventually I'd like to have it so we have everybody living in one area and a studio in between. And we might not stay in Virginia. I want him to move here because moving to me and Devu living together is more important than anybody else. Yeah. Because like it would be great to live in close proximity to Jesse so we could do like all the projects we have ideas for. Nate and Ben would be fun to work with and to live in close proximity, and Hippo.
I would love to have them as my
his
actors,
American visa and stuff. Right. They'd be great to have around to be able to like. The more people you have, the more shit you can do. The more complex.
I feel like
stuff.
those guys are actual talent that I would want. Like I could write scripts for their character.
But like, having them all around would be great. But me and Devu, it's more of like we are literally working together every day already, and it's a pain in the ass because he has shit internet. We're never awake at the same time.
Those little fucking bitch dragons over there,
and we're trying to communicate intent over fucking Skype. It's Discord now, so it's a little difficult to work all that stuff around. So. Yeah, moving him up here pronto is a good idea, but I don't just want to full stop move into a small place and then immediately have to move into another place as soon as I make more money,
This motherfucker has a giant thing of cheese balls, man. Do you even eat these cheese balls?
Yeah, I just bought that.
Good lord. Fucking cheese balls suck,
I've eaten
dude.
like 8 buckets of this over the last couple years.
Good fucking god, you cheesy monster.
They only sell them at Farm Fresh, so I only get them when we go to Farm Fresh.
Disgusting.
And I fold up the lid like a taco, scoop them
What
up.
the fuck? What the fuck? This is the fattest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You've watched me do this on the show.
I've never seen you do this.
You see me do this on Digi Bros.
I don't pay attention to what you're doing.
No, you commented on it.
No, I've never seen that. This motherfucker folded the lid of the cheese balls like a taco and he's funneling them into his fucking mouth.
I've made a tweet about it before.
I mean, that's a great way to not get fucking disgusting cheese all over your fingers, but it's also just, like, sickening to watch. Oh, God, you coughed some fucking cheese on me.
I was laughing.
Oh, God. That's just fucked.
Next time on Digi Bros. Don't go in there. Don't go in there.